Yay Media Group.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Spill the Beans podcast.
By the title of this podcast, you already know we have some very special guests today. You might have seen them on Instagram, TikTok, but please help us welcome Yohana and Jesus, where they're going to spill all the beans. Please help us welcome Yohana and Jesus.
That's okay.
Put the clapping noises.
Please, edit some cheering in there.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Spill the Beans podcast. How are you feeling?
Good, man. How are you?
A little bit nervous. How are you guys?
We are very nervous, but very excited to have you guys on.
Thank you guys for coming. Just a quick little intro.
Yes.
Obviously your names, and let's go with how old you are.
So my name is Yohana, and I'm 23 years old.
I'm Jesus, and I am 25.
Okay.
And how long have you guys been together?
5 years.
5
Together.
years.
5 years, yes.
Okay.
Long time.
That's awesome. And would you guys mind kind of taking us back 5 years ago, how you met, where you met, and how old were you when you met? Because I can't do math right now.
I was 19, and you?
I was about like 20-ish. It was around my birthday, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere around. You want to tell them or I tell them?
It's a funny story. I think we both have our own perspective of that day.
Okay.
So we met at a coleadero. I used to be in Escaramuza, and I was always into that. And we have a mutual friend, which at the time I didn't know him, and I didn't know that they were friends. And I was just there sitting with her, and lo vi a él coleando, and I was like, oh, like, this guy's attractive, you know? But I was just like, oh, whatever. And yeah, así quedó. And I was just like, what, you want to say your side of
Wait, so you were on the horse coleando?
Yeah.
Like you know how to do that too?
Yeah.
Oh, so it was kind of like you guys both had experiences with horses.
Like
Yes.
you guys weren't just there
Whoa.
chilling,
So
like you
fun
were there for a
fact,
reason.
My stepdad and his dad were in a team together.
What?
Charreaban juntos, yeah.
And you guys you didn't know this prior to like meeting or anything like
No,
that?
we
know
didn't.
each other.
That's like, what do they call that? The string theory? Like you already know, or what is it?
You've been connected like for so long, but you just
Yeah.
hadn't met yet.
That's so crazy. I think I've heard of that, but I didn't really know the like meaning of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my perspective was I was on the horse, and like she mentioned, there was like a mutual friend. She was like one of my best friends. And she was like sitting next to you, right?
Yeah, we were
like,
sitting together. Yeah.
close. And I wouldn't even go to my friend because like she was there. I was like, oh, like I was so nervous. I was like, but then she left somewhere, and then I got like close to my friend. Her name's Evelyn. And I was like, who is that? And she was like, she mentioned her stepdad. She's like, oh, it's Ricardo Nava's stepdaughter. And I was like, oh, really? Like, I didn't know he had like, a stepdaughter. And then, I remember back then Facebook was like a really big thing. Boom, sent the friend request.
That is so
And
funny.
I don't even know how. I don't remember if it was him who found me or it was. Wait, what did I say? It was him. I don't know if it was him or me who found each other on Facebook, but I forgot what I was gonna say.
Who sent the friend request?
Yeah, one of us sent the friend request, and I just think it's crazy because I don't even know how we even found each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the first time you guys had ever seen each other. You knew nothing of each other before.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you were like, oh, he's cute. And you're like, oh, she's cute.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
making you
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so
crazy.
funny.
Okay, and then we fast forward from that friend request to you guys like meeting in person. How long was that?
How long, baby?
So that friend request, I was like in a toxic on and off relationship at that time. And I had like left that relationship, and that's when he added me or I added him. And we had each other for, I want to say, a couple weeks. And then I posted a story on my Facebook, and he messaged me, and he was like, oh, you're cute, or something like that. Yeah. Okay. And I was like, oh, thank you. But I stopped answering after that. And I think from there it was another like 2 weeks. And I wanted to text him again, but I just didn't know how. So back then it was like those posts where where it's like, oh, laugh react if you want to play iMessage games or something like that.
Okay.
And I posted it just so he can
React to it.
You react to it. Y ya le mandé mi número, and then from that, it was another 2 weeks that we saw each other, right? So it was like a month in total, a month and a half, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
From
That
when we
is
met,
so
yeah.
funny.
We actually like physically met.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, where was the spot? Like dinner date, movies.
Yeah, so I picked her up, and it was like really, really, really late, right?
Yeah.
It was like 12 or like
wow.
1. I remember her mom, she was like pushing you out, right?
Yeah,
she was like
my
pushing
mom was
you out
really
the house.
strict when I was younger. So she was like, either you go now or you don't go. Yeah.
So we were like, oh, like where do we go now? Like at 12, like midnight,
Okay.
you know? So we were like, let's just go to Buffalo Wild Wings. So we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and we had one of these conversations that like, it was like we knew each other. It was just like a whole like an hour till like they closed. We had like a whole like genuine like conversation.
It didn't
was just
feel
like nonstop.
forced.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
not forced. It was, I don't know. It was,
And I think I've never felt like something like that, at least for the first date, you know? Yeah.
and we weren't drinking. We were like, keep in mind,
yeah.
we were just
Mhm.
like,
Oh, wow.
it was just like,
So, like,
the first.
A vibe. Yeah.
It was.
Oh
I
my
think that's why your
gosh.
relationship has lasted, because
Yes.
you guys went to Beat Ups, which is my favorite restaurant. So,
I thought he was gonna say something deep, but I was like, that is so sweet. So prior to this, or can I ask, why was it so late? The date?
I think I was planning on going out with my friends.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like trying to decide if to go with him or to go with my friends. And that's why like I just ended up deciding really late. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's kind of meant to be, because it's like, no,
Yeah.
who am I gonna pick? My
Yeah.
friends are him, and yeah.
And she picked me.
And here we are 5 years later. Wow, that is so amazing. And from then, so it's the first date, right? You come home, obviously you're feeling all the butterflies. You're like, oh, I think he's cute. I like him. So how did you guys like did you keep dating right away, or was it like, no, we'll give it some time to get to know each other more?
Do you want to answer?
So after that date, we just kept on, talking, messaging, like after work, stuff like that throughout the day. And then I think that was like November, right, baby? Like November, December, kind of. So we just kept on just like talking like through like messages and stuff. And I think we would see each other kind of like we would see each other like on the weekends, like, go out like on dates and stuff. And then I finally made it official until the next year.
In January.
January 17th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like maybe like what, 3 or 4 months after
After,
we like actually like physically like went on that first date.
Yeah.
Okay, that's when you started dating.
Yeah, that's
is that
when
what
we-
you guys count your anniversary? Just January 17th?
January 17th.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we from that date, we didn't stop talking at all. It was just like,
So both of you knew it was like, we're gonna end
Yeah.
up eventually
Yeah.
dating.
Yeah.
so that felt pretty good.
Wow, that's amazing. I feel like it's so funny because we have a similar story to that. Because I'm like, how funny is it that everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna post this status on Facebook just so one person can react. And I feel like it's like that now too. It's like, I'm gonna post this story to see if my crush like hearts it. You know?
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So it's like most of like these relationships have started off of Facebook, which is
Yeah.
crazy to think about.
Very, very crazy.
Just a little background, guys. I feel like to the viewer, you might be thinking this is the first time we've met, but I kind of wanted to dive into kind of our like little, it's very short, our history,
Yes.
but I kind of want to throw it back to the whole airport scene because that was so funny because you and your mom, right? Or you and your sisters? Or you and your mom?
No, it was me and Yomi's.
Oh, and my
Because
sister,
we were there for
right?
like
we went
the
to
shortest trip ever.
Okay.
I thought you said Yobi. I was like, what the heck? I was like, yeah, that's me.
Is that what they call you?
Yobi, yeah.
Yomi?
Yobi with
Oh,
a B.
Yobi.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so
We
crazy.
call my sister's name Yomaida, but we call her Yomis.
Yomis. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
Yeah.
funny.
That's so funny.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
you're
that's
good.
okay.
They went to the bathroom, so I went to the gates right away. And it's those times that like, no, not to sound like mamon, but like, like someone recognizes you, but they're not saying hi, but like from the from the corner, they're
Yes.
like smiling. So I remember, I think mind you, I didn't, I'm on social media, but I'm on like, my TikTok For You page is like Cristiano Ronaldo, like I did not know like the TikTokers at the time. So then I went and sat down and I was like, I can feel like, there's someone there. And I think I smiled at you guys, but like, was not así. And then Blanca comes into the picture and she's like, "Hey," blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Oh shoot, you know them and everything." And she's like, "Yeah." And then she explained to me later who you guys were and everything. I was like, "Oh man, like I wish I would have gotten there and then started talking to you guys right away." Especially because you were wearing like, one of you guys was wearing a Mexico shirt and like the whole soccer thing. And
I think it was me.
and I was like, "Oh, I could have like that whole time waiting for them. I could have been conversating with them, you know."
No, I feel like that feeling that you say, I don't think you're mamon for that, because I feel like you can tell, you know. And I was telling him that I didn't want to make it obvious because I didn't want you to feel uncomfortable, you know. And I was telling him that, oh, like, I hope Blanca is there because I don't want to go say hi to him and then him not know, like, you know who I am. And I didn't want it to be awkward. So I waited for you and then you came and I was like, all right, that's my chance. But
I get there, I'm like, oh my God, hi, how are you?
And it was like, what the?
Yeah, it was the first time we met in person because obviously we had already been following each other on social media. So I was like, oh, how crazy out of everywhere it's at the airport.
And it was in LA coming back over here.
Yeah, which is
the same flight.
Exactly. And I was like, this is so insane because you could never plan something like that out. Not only seeing someone you know, but at the same time, same gate. It was crazy. So I was like, yeah, I know them. They're so nice.
Funny backstory on that. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
We were stranded in the airport.
Really?
Oh my
gosh. Right? It was that day? It was like, we weren't stranded, but
it was like 9 hours.
Yeah. So our checkout for the Airbnb was like at 11, and then we had to drop off the car at like 12, and our flight, it was like kind of late, right? It was like towards the afternoon, so we were stranded there for like 8 hours. So we were acting goofy too, like I don't know. Maybe that's why you were like, oh, like what the heck.
You guys were going to Lulu because you were here for so long.
And we had Valentina with us, so imagine 9 hours in the airport with the baby.
Yeah, with the little girl,
You know what? So backstory on that backstory, I had seen your stories and saying that you were stranded at the airport, and I know that feeling of you have to leave the Airbnb, but your flight isn't until like 9, and I was like, should I just message them like, hey, we have a hotel room, like, yes, and come and like, you know, relax or de-stress? And I was like, no, it's gonna be awkward. But I did have the intention. I was like, I should have just told them to come because I knew that you had Valentina. So I was like, she's probably going crazy at the airport, you know. But that is so crazy. I was like, I knew you were in California because of your stories, but I never thought that I was gonna see you at the airport.
That's so crazy. But I think looking back at it, it's like a funny story, you know?
Yeah. So then after that, the next time we saw each other in person was at Te Salud's party.
Yes.
Yes, and we got there. You guys were already there. We said hi.
Yeah.
We were a couple drinks in. I was like, I don't remember what I said. No, I'm just kidding.
What's crazy is that I said hi to you guys. Like, if you were like, I don't know. I think that's what's cool about like having these social media friendships. Like if we had known each other for a long time, like I said what's up to you guys, and we were just happy. And then I'm like, I gotta go. I have to find my wife. Like, I don't know where she's at. But yeah, that's so cool. How does it feel like going to those events nowadays? Like, do you guys get nervous? Do you guys maybe still have that sort of like, wow, I watched that person on YouTube? Is it like surreal meeting them?
I think even with you guys, like before I speak on going to those events, when I met you guys at the airport, I was literally telling him like, I think I'm like a big fan of you guys. I used to watch you from when you did the music
my playlist.
Yeah, the playlist videos.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then I remember I used to think like, oh my gosh, like you in your friend group, you guys had like such genuine genuine friendship, you know, and I used to look up to that. So meeting you was kind of like, oh my gosh, like that's.
Did you, so when you were watching me then, did you know I was here in Colorado?
I did.
And were you like, that is so crazy? Like I've never.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't really people here. Yeah. So I think it was kind of exciting to know that someone was here. I think I also saw you at the flea market one time.
Really?
Yeah.
No. Oh, that was. I remember because we've gone there once.
Yeah,
maybe probably that time.
Yeah, but I would have never gone up. Yeah,
that is so cool.
For the events and everything, it's still like surreal to me. Like I feel like I used to watch these people when I was little, and it was never I guess you can say my dream to do social media. And I think you guys know that my sisters got into it before I did. So I kind of like let them live their dream and support them, but they kind of like, I say this in the most positive way ever. They kind of brought me into it, and I'm so grateful for that. So I literally thank them every day that I'm like able to do this and go to events with them.
I feel like you're also being very humble, because I've seen the comments, you know, like once I started getting into that whole space, and then my little brother is obsessed with, you know, everyone. And in the comments, you can see people requesting you as well, even though you weren't in the scene yet. Like people would be like, oh my God, she should do this. She should do her YouTube. She should do a TikTok. People really loved you, even though you weren't like, or you're both relationship, even though you weren't like in the scene yet, you know?
Yeah, no, I think that's why it made me fall in love. It made me fall in love with the whole social media stuff. Because even though there's like, it's like bad sides, I feel like the good outweighs, you know, all of that.
Yes.
I don't know. What about you for the events and stuff?
Let me ask you, were you already, like, before you know, this whole thing happened, were you in YouTube like that? Like, did you like consuming the content, TikTok?
Honestly, I've never been like a social media person. Like, never, like, I never really watched YouTube. Like, I never really, like, had, like, Instagram or nothing like that. I got introduced into like even doing like YouTube videos like with their sisters, like when they would like be like their little like they would have like their little camera and stuff, and I'd be like, like that's never, you know, that's never gonna be a thing. But like actually like seeing them grow up into this is like it's like a real thing, you know. Like I've been getting it like these past couple of like years. It's like, dang, like people are actually like really cool, you know. Like there's like a future in like this social media thing. Yeah.
I also feel like, Yohana, you're not giving yourself a lot of credit here, but this is what I've always said. It's like, say you have this famous influencer, right? And they have a sister or a best friend, and they start putting them on their videos. The only reason you get a following is because people genuinely like you. And I feel like that's with me. You're so genuine and like positive and outgoing. And it's so funny when I see you on like TikTok lives with your sisters, and everyone's like, I love how Yohana's just the media. Like you don't take sides. You're just like, oh, both of you, like calm down, you know? So it's like, people genuinely love the person that you are. So I'm like, that's why you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Yeah, I feel like not just me, you know, I feel like anybody can go through that. Like, oh, like I have my following because of my sisters or oh, this, you know. But I think there was one time that I was really down bad, and I kind of told myself like, people are going to watch you because they like you. And so I think there was a moment where I tried to force. I watched your last podcast, and you guys were talking about doing stuff you genuinely love because that's the only way you'll be successful. That reminded me, like, I would try to kind of be like someone I wasn't, you know? And not until recently I was like, no, like, people are going to like me for me, and, you know, like, that's okay. But yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Nurture Life.
That was me. Thank you. This podcast is sponsored by Nurture Life.
You know, I've never been more jealous of my kids' food until I started feeding them Nurture Life.
If you have kids, we don't need to tell you how insanely stressful mealtime can be. Kids can be wildly picky and never enjoy anything new, which makes it hard to introduce them to a better, healthier variety of foods.
It's 2025. Are you still feeding your kids like it's 2005? Nurture Life is a meal delivery service focused on helping busy parents easily feed their babies and kids from 10 months to 10 years old. The company provides fresh meals and snacks that are delicious, nutritious, and fully cooked. That means they are ready to serve in just 1 minute.
Nurture Life lets kids enjoy a healthy, nutritionally balanced diet while still eating all of their favorites like mac and cheese, spaghetti and meatballs, and much more. So parents can be sure that there's always something on the menu that their little ones will love. That's why Nurture Life is a top meal delivery service for babies and kids, and it is even allergy friendly too.
So how does Nurture Life work? It's simple. Select from over 50 varieties of nutritious, balanced meals on their weekly menu, from finger foods for babies and toddlers to kids' meals for older kids. Then, Nurture Life does the cooking for you, and the fresh meals are delivered straight to your door in refrigerated packaging.
Nurture Life's mission is to raise the standard for children's food in America, one meal and snack at a time. That's why all the meals are designed by registered dietitians, so I know we're giving our kids food that's good for them.
And along with full meal options, the Nurture Life menu includes on-the-go snacks and superfood smoothies so kids can eat well no matter what they're in the mood to eat.
Using Nurture Life takes so much stress and anxiety out of feeding our son. We don't have to scramble to make healthy meals for him and then worry about if Franco's going to like them or not.
The mac and cheese with chicken this week was so freaking good. I don't even think Franco ate any. I think I ate it all by myself, low-key.
So what are you waiting for? Head to nurturelife.com and use code SPILLTHEBEANS for 55% off your first order. That's right, 55% off.
Once again, that's nurturelife.com, and make sure you use our promo code SPILLTHEBEANS so they know we sent you.
Even if you aren't a parent with young kids, but you know someone who is, make sure to share our code so our show gets the credit. So you kind of start getting on social media, you know, making TikToks, coming out on their lives. How does this like go on to you guys? Like who was like, oh, hey, we should make a TikTok together? And like, because obviously I feel like all your TikToks go kind of viral because everyone loves seeing relationships on there. So how did she go to you and was like, hey, can you make this TikTok with me? Or how did you
Were
guys
you nervous when you had to do like your first TikTok with her or something like that?
Yeah. What was our first TikTok?
I posted our first like TikTok together. It was like of us dancing, so I didn't really ask consent. Is that but he was actually the first one to ask to film a TikTok.
Yeah.
The first TikTok ever.
Yeah, the first like on my page, it's on this like it was a Super Bowl like last year's Super Bowl.
I don't remember.
It was who was the guy who like performed? What was his name? I don't know, but he went viral for like doing like a little dance, like kind of like Kendrick Lamar went viral with like this year. And then we did it, and that was like my first TikTok. And I was like, okay, like I'm okay. I even told her, I was like, I'm okay with like getting like 100 views, right? And then it got to 1,000, and then 2,000, and 3, and then it got to 10, and then I think it got to like 40, right? Like 40,000. I was like, that's crazy. I was like,
on whose page?
On mine.
Really?
Yeah.
On yours?
When I had like 100 followers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and to get like 40,000 is you know, it's a big
lot.
deal. Yeah, and I was like, oh, like, you know, there might be a future. That's when I like started like realizing like what we can, you know, kind of be or like
together.
Accomplish. Yeah.
And that's something that I had told Jonathan before he went full time on social media too. I said, thankfully, like jobs are always gonna be there. Oh, yeah. You know, and that's why when something like this big happens to you, like say that was me when I went viral, or you that you're going viral right now. It's like just take it, you know, because I don't want it to be like we're 50 and we're like, what would have happened if I had just taken advantage of that moment, you know? So I'm really like glad that you guys are both doing it for fun, but still getting so much fulfillment out of it, because there's so much engagement and everyone loves you guys. So that's really fun. It's fun to see.
Yeah.
And then the other day we were driving and we were like talking about like guests and stuff, and you guys came into mind, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go follow him on Instagram, like you. And I was like, I already follow her, but I was like, why hasn't, like, a todo esto, why don't I follow him, you know? And then I tried looking for you, and then it was kind of like tough.
He literally went FBI detective.
Yeah,
like,
so then I went to her tagged, and then like, I had to go to like, I think Kim or Vinny, and then they tagged you in a dance. I was like, no, because I found your page right away, and it had like 500 followers. And I was like, nah, this can't be him. Like,
He's
his
just
TikTok
low-key.
has like so many, you know? So I was like, but then I was like, no, I think it was Vinny did tag this Instagram. So it has to, but I was like, I'm gonna wait till I meet him, because I was like, I don't want to follow like the wrong page or like some like, you know, spam or something, you know?
That is so funny.
Yeah, like I said, like I'm not really big like into like social media and stuff. Like I think I made my Instagram.
TikTok is like
I think TikTok is like my biggest like following or whatever. I think I made my Instagram like a few months ago. Yes.
Wow. Okay, that's awesome. So you're kind of doing it for fun right now. It's just like like dancing videos or like trends. Okay.
Because you're also like, I mean, briefly you mentioned, we don't have to go into detail, like I don't want to for you, like, you know, safety purposes, but you're like a little like self-employed right now. So that's cool, because then social media at that point is truly fun, you know, you have your thing going for yourself, and I feel like that's when people do the best, because when they're like, oh shoot, like I got bills, I gotta, you know, I gotta perform this. Please, I hope this TikTok goes viral, and then it doesn't. You're like aguitado, you know. So I think that's when social media does the best.
Yeah.
When it's fun. So then, for your like POV, she starts making TikTok videos. She starts getting recognized a lot and getting a lot of engagement. What are you thinking? Because again, you weren't big on social media before. Like you didn't consume it that much. So what was your thought process? Like just full in support her, or?
Yeah, like support her 100%. We would go to restaurants, and then people would come up to her and I'd be like, that's when I like you start to notice like that you're kind of growing in social media. It's like when people come up to you and I'm like, what? Like I would just sit there like awkwardly, like.
And then we would be done with the pictures, and then he'd start laughing. Like, what the heck? Yeah.
It's like unreal.
But yeah, like fully, like I was like, let's do it. You know, like if that gets you some like us an opportunity, or like you an opportunity, like later to monetize off of it.
1,000%.
It's great. You know, like
Right.
like now I don't know if everyone knows she you know quit her job. And she's like fully monetizing off like social media. Like,
Amazing.
who doesn't want to do that?
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy for you. Congratulations. I feel like you're getting such an amazing opportunity, and I'm so glad that you're going through with it, because I feel like, as I tell Jonathan all the time, people dream about this, you know?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
when someone takes it and just goes with them, like, thank gosh, you know, because
Especially people in Colorado. we were
exactly.
talking to Natalie. She's a YouTuber in Cali a while ago, and she was saying that her little sister is in high school, and in her high school, I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but everyone has a vlogging camera. Like through the hallways, all
Everyone's
the girls are
doing it.
trying to like, you know, quote unquote, make it or be
Oh,
big.
I did not
So
know
it's like
that.
here in Colorado, I don't know if you guys have vlogged in public, pero todos se quedan staring.
Yeah.
what the
So,
hell are they doing?
yeah, but then over there, like
Everyone
I
does it.
vlog
It's
like
so
normal in LA,
yes,
in the middle of the street,
1,000%.
because people don't look at you twice, you know.
Yeah.
But that when she said that about the high school, it seems so like, you know, two different worlds.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, hearing that, I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful, you know?
Yes.
But no, yeah, here I feel like I still kind of struggle vlogging
Mm-hmm.
in public,
1,000%.
because
It's so
everyone here
nerve-wracking.
like judges hardcore.
Yeah, I feel like Colorado is more of a hater state.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a little
they
bit.
scare, man.
And you know the craziest thing, funny that you say that, you go onto your analytics. My biggest following is in California.
Me too.
Colorado
yeah.
is the last one.
No.
Like, like it's so
That's
crazy.
so funny.
Do you guys remember your first like we were talking about being recognized at restaurants and stuff? I'm saying it because I feel like not your first, but me with you was very memorable. We were at the Flatirons Mall. We were in the food court, and we're walking like a certain way, and all of a sudden we hear this like group of girls scream, and like to the point where like, you know, trauma or whatever, but like you fear the worst, like what's going on in the mall, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And you start to like panic a little bit, but there's just like, they're like hyperventilating, almost crying, like, "Oh, you're Blanca, blah, blah, blah." And I'm just there like, I start walking backwards.
You're
Like,
like, "All right,
I
I'm
got
head
I get secondhand embarrassment really easily. So I started walking away, and I like almost like running. But then, yeah, they went off on pictures, but I'll never forget that moment. It's like a core memory now. Do you guys have something like that?
I don't think it was like the first time, but like a core memory that I have like with her and her sisters, that we went to a Fuerza Regida concert. Oh my God. There was like, you know how like at the ball arena, there's like aisles that you go down? Like the security guards were like fighting everyone to like go to their seats, because it was so packed from
my
like
God.
everyone wanting pictures with like all three of them.
Really?
Yeah, like the
gosh.
security guards were like mad, like
They're like,
They
are
were
the
like,
people performing
"Go,
over
like,
here?
you can't-
Like,
yeah, like you can't be in like the aisle, like you gotta move out the way.
Oh
That
my
is
God.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's like my like core memory.
I don't know. I feel like to this day I'm a little bit shy, so I kind of black out.
no.
You're like, I don't remember what happened.
Literally.
when I talk to people, but I think just like stuff like that, like even a little girl could come up to me and I'd be like, oh my gosh, like
That is the sweetest, because I'm like, kids
craziest
don't
thing.
lie. Like when
Yeah.
they love you,
Yes,
they love you.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something people don't know or like talk about, but when you're first starting off as like an influencer, you are shy, you know, you're not used to it. So then se empiezan los chismes that, well, I met her or I met him and se me hizo like really quiet and they didn't really want to talk. Bruh, it's our first time like being in this situation, you know. Luckily now we have this system where it's like they come up, we ask them a personal question like, how was your day? What's your name? And then they flow so easily. But at the first couple of times I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I think people forget that like
we're human.
yeah, people are like we're normal people too, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we're not gonna be like all like perfect all the time.
Outgoing.
So piggybacking on what you just said, did you feel like, say, Te Salud's event, when you get there and you're like, because you're saying right now we're normal people too, but it's like you get there and you're like, oh shit, like they are normal people too, you know? Like you can go up to and say hi to them and have a conversation. It's like, oh no, they're just normal people too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, with Les, like I feel so bad because like I was fangirling, you know, and I was like, oh my gosh, like she's human, you know, like I can't be like all like too excited because it's her party. But I feel like, yeah, like being there, I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're real, you know, like they're people.
Don't worry, I fangirled when I first met her too. I was like, was I embarrassing? I was like, yeah, I was kind of embarrassing, but it's crazy to meet someone that you've loved for so long and to have them like face to face. You're like, oh my gosh, it's
me
crazy.
with you.
Oh, stop it.
Me with Shadi Bay.
Shadi Bay was iconic, I must say. I was like, this girl, she is an
Once you're a
icon.
couple drinks in, like everyone, like
Did you guys meet her at the park?
Yeah.
that was the first time.
It was so funny because she was like walking around with her Burberry sunglasses and like two bodyguards. And I was like, Shadi Bay, can I please take a picture with you? She's like, yeah, of course. I'm like, oh, period. Queen, you know? So like,
did you
she's
get the
iconic.
picture though?
Yeah, I did. And I sent it straight to my sister's group chat. I was like, look who I just met.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
iconic. But I'm like, it's crazy seeing all these people in real life and you're like, oh my God, they really are just normal people.
I was getting nervous walking into that event just because I don't know if you guys like saw, but when you guys were going in, there was like G-Wagons and like crazy cars. I was like, whoa, like who's here? You know?
Yeah.
Who's here and whose cars?
Yeah,
I
whose
wanna
car
know.
is this one?
I went with the sole intention because whenever we have events, Blanca and I, like in the hotel room, we're like, okay, we have to make a plan, you know, especially now with kids. No nomás podemos salir a hacer nada, you know. Everything is about like, you know, having a great time, but also like networking and stuff. So
Making
we
friends.
making friends. We make little goals, and I was like, you know what? I'm just here to support you. But if I had to have a goal, it's to meet Benji, you know?
Oh, yes,
He seems super
Benji.
nice, super genuine. I met everyone and their mom except Benji.
Really?
Yeah, and
You didn't
even
tell
my
me
friend
that.
Adrian, I don't know if you guys know him, he was kind of tipsy too. He told Benji, like, this is how nice and sweet Benji is. Like,
Yes.
off camera moment, he told Benji, because Adrian thinks he's the king of the world. Sometimes he's like, Benji, wait right here. I'm going to bring your biggest fan. And he said that he went to look for me for 5 minutes and Benji didn't move.
Oh my God.
And I was like, dude, you're such an ass. Why would you tell him that? But the
Benji's
fact
like, when
that
is
he
he gonna
was
come?
there, you know, then you guys
yes.
dipped out, I think. And yeah, I didn't get a chance to meet him.
No,
but
yeah, unfortunately, I wanted to stay longer. And then we were like talking, I don't know if you remember, and you were
I was like, Yohana,
try this
you have
drink.
to go try this drink. Malibu, I promise.
Dude, I really wanted to try it, but my sister had what was it? A club hosting.
Oh, okay.
And we had to go because no la queríamos dejar sola. But yeah, that's why we left early. If not,
That
I
is
would
so
have
funny.
tried the drink.
I'll make it for you next time. It was really good. Okay, so you go full on supporting her. And have you guys, maybe, because I haven't seen it yet, but have you guys seen any comments like about your relationship? Like, have you felt that this new like influencer era has impacted your relationship at all? Or do you think you've been pretty good about keeping it private?
Kind of piggyback writing off of like what we just said is that people forget that like we're normal people, you know, like
We go through stuff.
yeah, like we go through stuff, like we're gonna have problems. Like I remember we were on live and she mentioned, or I mentioned, like having like girlfriends, like friends that are girls, and then people were like, how do you let him
There's
have
no-
girlfriends and blah blah blah.
Can I just say something though? The thing about us letting each other have like our own girlfriends and boyfriends or whatever is they're older friends, like friends before we even
Before
make
social
Yeah.
media.
Right.
I still have my guy friends, you know, and
Yeah.
they're super respectful about our relationship and his girlfriends as well. I think when I would see it a problem, it would be if we made like a friend,
Like you're at the gym or something.
right
you
now,
know?
yeah, and like I'm not aware of that or he's not aware of it,
Yeah.
you know. But I think we're happy
Yeah.
that we have our friends, you know. But people got so mad at me for letting him have a friend.
It was weird. I was like, what are you guys talking
Yeah, I was
about?
like, oh my gosh.
What? Like,
I was like, maybe, like, should I get mad at him?
You're like, now I'm mad. Now I'm thinking about it.
No.
It is so crazy how they have like they think they have such a say in like how you should act in your
Yes.
relationship.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to know that you both are secure in your relationship and you trust each other 1,000%.
And you know what's crazy? No matter what you say or do, I'm sure you guys have learned this by now, you're never going to please everyone.
Yes.
Say you were to have gone on that live and said, we don't have guy and girlfriends. Oh my God, you're
you
so
guys are
toxic. Blah, blah, blah.
toxic.
So you guys do you, whatever works for you, you know?
Yes.
yeah.
No, yeah, I do think that I try to keep certain things out of social media just because of that, because you're never going to please everyone, you know, and I feel like that's one thing I don't want people to mess with is like our relationship and our mindsets. But yeah, like little stuff like that, they'll be like, oh, what the heck? Or I think I had mentioned one time. Sorry, I'm making this long.
No.
Please.
That's what
I'm like,
podcasts
let me
are.
go off right now.
Like, no, please speak your truth, girl.
I had mentioned one time because so he helps me with all my car stuff, right? Without me even asking. Like, he'll do my oil changes, like do all of that. And I feel like in return, there's not much I can do because we don't live together yet. There was one time that I was live and I was like, oh, like I put his clothes in the laundry, like let me fold it. And they were like, you're folding stuff without a ring, like what the heck, like you're doing this, you're doing that. And I think I started keeping that off of social media, but I never stopped doing it because he does things for me that I don't ask of.
Right.
And I feel like because I love him, I want to do that for him too, you know, without the ring. I feel like no, I don't want to say that because people are going to be like, what the heck? No, I think like if I was folding his clothes or something, and I would sound like, and like he weren't to do something for me, that's when I'd be like, okay, like maybe
It's like you guys both reciprocate what you're doing for each other. So I feel like the connotation where, oh, you're doing it without a ring is because the guy expects you to like, oh, you're not married, but you should cook for me, clean for me, do my laundry. But it's nice to know it's like he does things for you. So in return, you show him how you love him back.
And I feel like that's how you know, like if you want to marry someone is like, you know, little things that you do. But I'm not saying like, I'm going to do this for him, like, all the time, you know, like, obviously, like, he helps me when he can, when he could, you know, but, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I think that it gets a little bit hard with all the outside noise, and it's nice to just be like, you know what, I like how you're so mature in that sense that I'm just going to keep it, I'm not going to stop doing it, but I'm going to keep it off social media.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to, like, keep things private, though, because people... They're like
they know everything.
FBI agents out here.
No, for sure.
Especially like the new generation of like kids. I feel like when we, you know, quote unquote, popped off, like social media was obviously really big, but like, I don't know, there's layers. We talk to her sisters every day and they're in high school right now. And it's crazy. Like, I'll be like, why are you sad? Oh, it's because like he gained a follower. And I'm like, and it was a girl. And I'm like, okay, bro, then
Like,
ask
are
him or
you
talk.
kidding me?
No, I can't. Then I'm gonna look toxic, you know? So it's like, oh my God, like that's crazy.
You guys don't think it's TikTok? Because you guys pop
Yeah.
up,
1,000%.
you know? Yeah, I think TikTok is a little bit toxic.
Yeah, toxic,
I feel this is what I tell everyone, like TikTok is the best platform to like start and like it's so fun, but it's like it's also the worst because people on there, oh my God. Like I feel like before TikTok there were some chisme pages on YouTube here and there, but now everyone has a chisme page. I'm like, girl, like what? Yeah, it's so funny. And I think that also what has contributed to it is how much people go live too, because I feel like when you're live, obviously you can be like, oh, cut that out, you know? But you say something, you're like, oh shit, you know, like I should have not said that. And then now people are like, hey, do you remember when you said you know?
Do you feel like you're like good with TikTok lives, like not to mention like
yes,
things
1,000%. I feel like I had to train myself in that aspect. And also I think it's, you know how much you put out. So, you know, with your relationship, you keep some things private. So even with my life, with my kids, with everything, I keep things private. And I feel like I've gotten the hang of pretending I don't read a comment because like if I like go like this, you know, I'm like, oh, shit, what? You know? So I feel like I've gotten better, but I'm also not live for long. Like I'll get ready in 30 minutes and that's it, you know? So I'm like, if I was here for a long time, I'd be yapping and probably saying something I didn't mean.
I'm a very open person, so I think that's something, I think I'm still learning like to keep certain things.
But I feel like when you are an open person, like that's because you're confident in who you are, so no one can really hold what you say against you because you're like, I already said it, so like, you know, why are you gonna tell me, you know? So that's good to know.
Personally, you guys, I feel like we were the influencers in our household, you know? Even when we lived, or her mom and sisters lived with us, like we were still the only ones doing social media. Would you say like in your personal experience, you know, you have two twin sisters that are influencers, they could be live. Has that ever been stressful that like maybe you come over and you're going to spend time with her, but like you have to be hush hush because you can't be talking about because someone's live, like someone could be live. Like,
they'll be like TP.
Or do you guys have like some code or like
TP. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh, one thing, I'm going to freaking, how do you say that? Expose my sisters right now? Just kidding. One thing that does make me so mad is like, so I sleep over at Jesus pretty often, and then sometimes my mom or Valentina will go to my room or my sisters and leave stuff in there, and it looks so messy in there, and they don't have a sense of like, okay, it's messy, like let me just move it to the side. Okay. They'll go into my room, and then like it looks like I'm the messy person. So little things like that, I'm like, bruh. But I don't know. Do you think?
I think I've gotten used to it. Like when I see them like live, I'm like, all right, maybe I'm just gonna go sit on the couch and watch some TV, you know, right. Like not really say much. Yeah. But yeah, I think you just get like, you just grow used to it.
Yeah.
Because one thing is like your tia's live and she has 3 people, you know, and one of them is her other phone. And then one thing is like your sisters or maybe some influencers came out of town and they have thousands of people and like even like little innocent things like picking your nose, pero ahí está, is like, you know, you get recorded picking your nose or like, you know. So that's scary. Like, I don't know what I would do because I always be saying out of pocket stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Do you guys think like with your family, you would, or you guys never really go live when you're like visiting your parents or something?
I'd say that my sisters are like really into the public eye. Like they love doing the whole TikTok and everything. So I haven't gone live with them yet, but say I'm going to film a TikTok or I'm vlogging for YouTube. I'm never like, oh, do you want to be in it? I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm here with my sister, you know? Yeah. With his family, it's a lot more different, you know, because we don't have that. Like for us, it's like protecting their privacy. And for my sister, I'm like, I don't care, girl, you're going to be in the vlog. And for his, it's like, wait, do you think, maybe we shouldn't? So it gets a little hard because they're like, well, we don't see Jonathan's family that often. It's like, because we're like respecting and keeping their life private.
Yeah, I think we can relate with that.
Yeah, with my family. Yeah, and like you saying like, how are we when people are live? Like my family, like, oh, like Yovic is live. Like, all right, let's keep it down. You know, don't go into the room, don't go downstairs and stuff like that. So they kind of know, but at the same time, like I don't want to bring my I don't want to bring it onto my family because my little sisters are they're little too. They're little. They're like 10 and like 15, but. And they're like into the whole social media thing too, but I just want to protect them because I know TikTok is ruthless. Honestly, TikTok is really ruthless. So I think I'm just protecting them.
Do you feel like you guys had to get thick skin like right away? Because I feel like, say with YouTubers before TikTok was around, it took YouTubers quite a few years to be like, okay, I just have to not let any negativity get to me. Do you feel like for you it was like I have to do it now or I'm not gonna be able to keep going with this?
No, actually, so. I think in the beginning, you know how I mentioned to you guys that my sisters kind of like brought me onto it. I started off, you know, not with the biggest following, but the people that would see me, they were so supportive. I never got one negative comment. Like it was insane. Not until a little bit before, I think I had posted a video of me doing my makeup while talking in Spanish. That's what blew up. And from there, that's when I started getting a lot of hate comments. So I started off good. I started off like, oh my gosh, like I could be like sensitive me and like I'll be okay, you know? Yeah, not until a couple months later that, Do
you think, so sorry, but do you think it was because of the Spanish video that it hit like Mexico or something? Because if I can relate to that, it's like a lot of people ask us to speak Spanish in our videos, and the times we have, that's when we get the most
negativity. Hate. Yeah, it was a lot of that, and also my sister, she has a really big fan base, but as much as her fan base is really big, she has a big like, ¿cómo se dice? Like, hating base. Like, so because of that, I blew up a little bit more, and people were like, oh, that's Wendy's sister. That's Wendy's sister. Oh, okay. And a lot of people like to make people around Wendy feel bad. Oh, okay. Which kind of sucks to say, but it was because of that.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes
sense. Because you're the older sister, correct? So, I mean, growing up and then seeing your sisters blow up, I mean, take social media away, like just as a sister, like would that kind of affect you, like seeing so much hate go towards them, towards her specifically, you know?
Yes,
Wendy?
100%. I feel like they're my sisters at the end of the day. I've always mentioned that we're not close, not until this year we got really close, but we're not close. But I think people take that as like we don't care about each other, you know? But no, I think both of us like look at it and we're like, what the heck, like can we fight y'all? Like why are people so mean? What makes me happy about my sister is she's so strong. But as strong as someone is, like, you know, obviously, like, they have their moments. And my sister's really closed off. So I think when I'm like laying in bed and I think about Wendy, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I just want to hug her. You know, like I feel so bad because I know that like deep down, like, you know, things get to her.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it does hurt me.
Yeah, we're like, I like to feel like, I don't know, like whenever we're with them, like I feel like a sense of like a protector.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know, like for their birthday party, we didn't even enjoy it because we were just like on their ass.
Dude, yeah. Oh my gosh, for their birthday party, for their 21st, like he was going after Evan, then I was going after Wendy because we were like drinking, you know? And then we would meet in the middle and be like, all right, you switch off and let me go with her. And then I think like, I enjoyed it, you know, but I think that like it made us, both of us, a little bit more happy that we were taking care of them. I think I'm so grateful that I found someone that understands that side of me, that taking care of my siblings, you know, and he does the same, and you know,
He supports you.
Yes.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, because we can't even imagine that scale. Because if we scale it down, whenever we have our siblings, we're refreshing the comments.
Oh my God.
And like let's
delete,
say out
delete,
of like 100 comments on our YouTube video, 1 or 2 is bad. Like talking about how they look or how they dress or whatever, but we delete it within like the first 2 minutes. So now you scale it up to like you as a bigger sister and you like older cuñado. It's like, that must be tough because you can't delete all that on TikTok because it's chisme pages. It's all this nonsense, you know?
When I first started getting like comments, I would be like, dang, like they're actually kind of right, you know? Like, I'm like, I've never seen myself like that, you know? But then like you just start getting a little bit used to it. Like you go to their page, it's like a fake page,
No
you
profile
know,
picture.
no profile picture, user 3,854, you know, like, and then I remember I made like it's like a funny little TikTok where I was like, I hadn't shaved in like 2 weeks, like my nose hairs were like all out, my unibrow, everything, and then the like little song was like güero, like and stuff, and that's when I was like, like, you know, like whatever, like people are gonna just be haters.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to know that you guys are like that, like you take it really lightly, because I feel like that's one of the hardest things of doing social media. It's like, not only can they hate on you, but then they hate on your relationship and they think that you should do this and that. So it's just good to hear that you guys have a strong head on your shoulders.
Yeah. I think if it weren't for him or my sisters are so strong. I feel like I'd be a little bit more weak sauce. They kind of tell me like, don't listen to it, you know, like that's not true or stuff like that. But I think it is hard to not, you know, like pay attention to those.
Right. It's hard to not let it get to you. You're only human, so it makes sense. But it's good to know that you're putting yourself out there and they're not. Like they're just sitting behind. They're keyboard warriors, you know. They're just sitting behind the screen trying to type.
Do you think you guys do good with hate? I know you said that you guys delete the comments, but
oh yeah, now I do. I feel like now someone will say something and I guess now it's a little toxic because my first instinct is to clap back and just like, well, you know. But it didn't start off like that, and kind of a similar situation as you. When I started, I used to never get any hate comments really, and then I met up with one of my friends, and her following is more like Mexican based, like in Mexico. And as soon as I started hanging out with her, that's when like her like fan base came at me and like, you're so this, you're so that, but they were all from Mexico, you know. So that was my first time when I was like, damn, like I have to grow thick skin because I like what they're saying isn't true about me, you know. So I feel like since then, and since we've been on social media for a while now, it's like I don't let it get to me that much. If anything, I like to just troll with them too. I'm just like, oh girl, I know you're not talking, you know, but I try not to because it's also toxic of me,
I think the thing that I really don't tolerate, I'm giving them like an open window to is my mom. That's where like I'd be like trying to clap back, but
especially because your mom's like an angel, you know. It's like, what could you possibly say about my mom? You know, she's just trying to help out, and it's cool like influencer moms, because they, even though they're not like up to date with TikTok or Instagram, they do value that it's like in the moment type thing, and that you could be changing, you know, like your generations from now on, not only financially, but like, you know, just in a like a positive personal life manner type of way. So it's like, but they know that. They don't might not necessarily know what gift it are or hearts or lions or galaxies, but they just do anything to support you guys, you know?
Do you feel like you guys being together, has it ever like been hard for you guys to be in the public eye and then come home and be like, hey, well, did you really do you think that about me, or do you think that about me? Because I feel like that's with me and Jonathan. When I started putting on a relationship, they'd be like, oh, he doesn't do this and she doesn't do that, and I'd be like, do you not do that? You know?
Yeah.
So has that ever affected you guys at all?
I don't think so. I don't think it has.
That's good.
I think me and Jesus, we joke a lot, you know. So I don't know. I just
No, I don't think so.
like
I
I
don't
That's
don't
so
think there's
good.
no
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Because if you really think about it, like I'm not that big, and you know Yohana's up there, so
Yeah.
they don't really come out after our relationship yet. But yeah, I don't think so. Not yet.
Okay. Are you the oldest in your family too?
I am. Yes.
And you're the oldest in your family too, right?
I have an older brother. Yeah.
Okay. So you're the oldest daughter.
The daughter. Yeah.
Do you feel like that has anything to do with your relationship? Because I know there's those sayings where it's like, if you're dating an older daughter, like you do this and this and this. But has that ever impacted you guys?
I feel like it impacts us in a positive way.
Okay, good.
Because like the respect that we have like for others and like for our parents and like the values that we both think that we have is like they're super similar. Like everything, just I don't know. It's just like the stars aligned with us.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
we have super like value wise, like we believe in like like the same exact things.
And I feel like my sisters don't. So I think it's kind of weird that like, you know, we're siblings and we have different mindsets, but we like align with that.
Yeah, that goes with like the oldest, you know,
Right.
Yeah.
how they got treated, the middle child and all that stuff. So
Right.
I feel like that's why, like, because we're like the older ones, we had to like always like take care of like others.
Right.
I feel like that's why our values come together. Yeah,
Oh, that's so good. So it does impact you, but positively.
Positively,
That is so
yeah.
good to hear.
Guys, we unfortunately are coming to the end of this beautiful podcast. So far, it's been a blast. I feel like time flies when you're like having a conversation. The fact that that was 50 minutes already is kind of
I did not feel
mind-boggling.
like
I
50
know.
minutes.
that long. But we want to end it off on a fun note, guys. So as you know, I have my Q&A jar. This is the rapid fire Q&A jar. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to pull out a question. You're going to read it out loud to yourself, and you're just going to answer it. First thing that comes to mind. You don't have to think about it too much. Like literally the first thing that comes to mind, and we'll just go like that. So we can alternate. So you can go first and then her.
I am nervous. Okay, I need you to hold this so I can think. Okay. What's one thing you never leave your house without? My purse.
Okay.
What's your favorite color? Blue.
Nice.
You took some time to read that.
Oh, yeah.
Just
We'll
us?
do like 5. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
us.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you guys too.
No.
No.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. I was like, your turn. Okay. What is your biggest irrational fear? Death? Wait, what's irrational?
Irrational is like wouldn't happen. So say we live in Colorado, a hurricane.
Oh, okay. I can't think.
Like it can be goofy. Like you're like, I don't even know why I'm scared of it.
Like a shark biting you in the bathtub or...
What the heck? Those are so creative. Irrational. Oh my God.
Well, have you ever had that when you're like showering and you close your eyes, you're like, oh my God, someone's going to kill me or...
Oh, yeah. Okay. Like getting buried alive.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, that one's good.
If you could ask your future self a question, what would it be?
Don't think.
Did you actually take advantage of it?
Oh, that's deep. Okay.
Inspirational.
Making me think
Describe
over here.
yourself in 3 words. Nice. Pretty. Mean.
Did you say mean? Period.
If you could relive one day in your life, which one would it be? Probably seeing my grandpa for that last time.
Oh my gosh, babe. What would be your death row meal? Pizza?
Okay. Just like pepperoni pizza.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that.
If you had to delete all but 3 apps on your phone, which 3 are staying?
You're thinking.
Does like the picture app count? No? Or just like apps you have to
Nah, we'll
Maybe
give you
apps that
that
you've
one.
downloaded?
Yeah, that you
download it?
download.
Yeah.
Okay. TikTok staying.
For sure.
What else?
Can I answer for him? His betting app.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
sports
okay.
betting.
Oh, okay.
Sports betting and Facebook.
Okay. Nice.
For Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah, yeah,
For real.
literally.
That's so funny. Do you
Yeah.
All
I'm
the time.
addicted to that.
That's so funny. Okay. What is your go-to excuse to get out of plans? I threw up. I don't know.
Nice.
I don't feel good.
I threw up. I'm sick.
Would you rather give up sex or social media for a year? Bro, I'm giving up social media.
We love it.
All right.
One
Well,
more?
thank you guys.
Okay.
Oh, do you want to do one more? Or?
That's it? Okay.
Okay. Thank you guys so
Those were
much
hard.
for joining in on that fun. That was good.
That was good, guys. You guys did very good. Just
Wow.
to end on a positive note, where do you guys like, because I wrote this down here, I was like, where do you guys want to take this? Like, what do you see either with social media or, you know, your life? Like, what's something you guys, I know there's my last, what is it, vibras out there, and you kind of don't want to speak on some stuff sometimes, but like with social media, like where would you like to see yourself in 10 years?
So let me answer first. We've been going around like meeting a lot of like influencers that are like in relationships. So like you guys, like Kim and Vinny, you know, like really successful people. And that's like kind of the goal, like social media wise, is like where we're trying to take it. Like in life, we have, or she has like a cousin, his name's Jose, and they're like married with like Alondra. They're not really like on social media, but that's like where I want to take it as well. Like, you know, house, marriage, you know, kids eventually once we're like all set. But yeah, like that's where I'm trying to be with her is, you know, house first, marriage next, and then kids after that.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I think obviously like all of that same, but I think hopefully we'll be able to continue social media forever. Loving my job, my you know career, my social media. One thing as well is retiring my mom, paying her house off, you know, doing stuff like that, and finishing college, getting my degree. Yeah.
Wow. Are you currently in college right now?
I am,
Oh, what are you
yeah.
going for?
I was going for early childhood education, but ever since that whole situation, it kind of threw me off. I do love working with kids, but I don't know. I think I'm going to change my major in the summer. Yeah, so hopefully I'm done by the next 10 years.
Wow. That is so awesome. That is a really awesome future plans to have.
Hopefully.
Wow. Yes.
That's so cute. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on Spill the Beans podcast. You guys are the second episode ever since we like rebranded and moved and everything. And you guys were a blast. Thank you.
Thank you
guys so much for having us.
Yeah, it was a pleasure being here, and thank you guys as well for having us.
Awesome. Well, we hope that you guys enjoyed this podcast. We'll have all of their social media linked in the description box. Go give them a follow. And without further ado, that's it for today's podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Yay Media Group.